How important is that in your training?
Right now, when I was powerlifting for the Arnold, I was eating, a certain amount of meals every single day. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Everything was set.
Sure.
My weight had to stay, exactly where it had to be.
Yep.
Uh, Once I switched over to arm wrestling, I kind of, I don't eat as many meals. I just kind of watch my weight,
Yep.
make sure. Try to get too sloppy.
Sure.
Don't want to get sloppy.
That's right. That's right. It's got to be good weight.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I say once I switched over to arm wrestling, I started just eating maybe 3-4 meals a day.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I do have a plan of leaning out.
Okay.
So I'm to definitely be more disciplined. That's going to be one of my goals. You know what I mean?
Nick, you stay away from the 242 class. You hear me? You
I
stay away from that. All right. I don't want anything to do with that. What's
if I
that?
get down, then get back up.
Yeah. How about that? Get me a couple milkshakes. Nick's looking lean. I gotta go get some some McDonald's. That's great. That's funny. How about supplements? Do you take anything? I mean, I assume protein powders has a place.
Yeah, I got protein powders. Like I've been taking more since I switched to the arm wrestling. My meals are less, so I've been drinking more protein. Just to get protein up. But protein powder, I do like pre-workouts.
Okay.
I like take multivitamins, vitamin C.
Sure.
Big fan of I take collagen. I'm a big fan of putting collagen.
Same here. Yep.
Or something like that.
You go heavy on the collagen, right? Don't you? How much do you take a day? Did you say?
I usually I don't really measure it, but I usually it's 2 or 3 teaspoons.
Okay.
Or whatever the bigger one is.
Yeah. Tablespoon, I think that is. Yeah. So.
It's probably 20 or 30 grams, I would say.
Yeah, heavy on the collagen.
You know.
Yeah. That's good for connective tissue, right?
Yeah, definitely. I like to. I put it in like a gallon jug with some Gatorade.
Nice. Yep.
This way, it's in your bloodstream while you're working out.
Yep.
So you're more likely to absorb it and stuff like that.
Yes. So I remember you walking around Badger's Christmas party with the big jug, and it was salted Gatorade. Yeah. This is the first time I've heard of salting your Gatorade, but hey, man, clearly it works, Nick. I'm not going to question any of the things you're doing because you are crushing it. What was that?
When I was at the Arnold, I was trying to put the water back on, so
Yeah.
I had the most funkiest Gatorade I've ever
done. Yep, that's how it goes, man. Sweet. You also take your recovery very seriously. I know that. You do cryotherapy, right? You do compression therapy. You have a place near you. I think it's Caveman Cryotherapy.
Yep, it's down the street.
Yep.
In Oakville, Connecticut.
Nice.
The guy's name is Mike. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He'll hook you if you're looking for a little freeze and squeeze.
Is that what they call it? The freeze and squeeze. Yeah, I did that with you. It's wild. If to everyone listening, if you haven't done the cryotherapy where you stand up in that chamber and they just blast you with freezing air, we're talking like negative in the hundreds temperature. It is wild. But I mean, I felt great afterwards. I mean, it's hard to feel worse than being in that condition. But yeah, what do you think the benefits are, Nick? Is it inflammation reduction? Does it promote blood flow? What's the case?
Inflammation and blood flow would be the biggest things.
Yeah.
Lots of other things that I can't remember. Mike talks to me all the time about them. There's lots of other things he's. One thing, maybe that's what it was. One thing you're saying is that the cold helps promote collagen. You know what I mean?
Sweet.
I can't remember how he was saying, but
yeah.
About the response of
okay.
Cold.
Yep.
But I think the biggest things is the inflammation and the blood flow, especially the compression therapy.
Right.
Definitely blood flow.
Yeah, those are wild. So they put this like bodysuit on you, but it's just for an individual limb, and they're pressurized with air, right? And they just squeeze. Yeah, and it is wild. So you sit there for 10 minutes just getting your arms or legs just squeeze, and then the pressure goes away and then back. Yep. Yeah, it's a wild experience, but again, it felt great. So I see them popping up all over the place. So to everyone listening, do a quick Google search. You can probably find one near you. Worth checking out for sure. Um, Moving on, wanted to ask, do you still do powerlifting, or have you gone all in on the arm wrestling? I know you still coach, you still show up to local meets, help your friends, but how important is it to increase your total right now in powerlifting?
I mean, my total, and because right now I consider myself an arm wrestler right now. So the importance of a total in terms of competition,
Yeah.
I don't. At this time frame, it's not important to me in terms of training.
Right.
Now that being said, I still squat, I still bench, I still deadlift.
Nice.
But a lot of times there are a lot of variations. With the way my body's changed from arm wrestling, a lot of the positions I need to get into to handle those the big massive weights safely.
Right.
I just can't get into them without maybe a month or two off from arm wrestling.
I see. Yep.
And modifying the range of motion. If I'm going super heavy, I'll do pin presses, stuff like that.
Yep.
I'm still train, still train heavy, but it's modified. So right now, I'd say it's a powerlifting, arm wrestling hybrid training.
Sweet, man. Patent that. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. When you're at that level, I mean, the things you have to do to really peak your strength for a competition would come at the expense of arm wrestling. And you're on such a tear in the arm wrestling world that, yeah, I wouldn't want to slow that down either. Awesome. And can you talk a little bit about what your arm wrestling training regimen looks like? So you mentioned you still do squat, you still do bench, you still do deadlift. Arm wrestling specific lifts, or is it all just big compound lifts, pulling, pushing? Or do you really get into the nitty gritty and do finger flexion and wrist flexion? So can you talk a little bit about your weekly routine in terms of weight training?
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of do everything. So I do big compounds, but at the same time, I'll break it down. So like today, I was doing just little tiny pronation exercises.
Yep.
I had 10 pounds. I do a couple sets of a minute.
Right.
Monday is a heavy lower for me. So I usually start it off with a squat.
Okay.
Squat or a good morning. Then I do a deadlift variation.
Yep.
And then it's a lot of core work, heavy core work. So
Sure.
That could be lower back, could be abs, could be sometimes glutes.
Yep.
A lot of legs.
Mm-hmm.
That's my heavy day. Tuesday will be a recovery day, lower body day. So I'll do similar thing, but different.
Okay.
So I'll do. I usually start off with a squat. I'll do lots of range of motion, like a very, very big range of motion.
Okay.
Or I'll do lots of time under tension. Sometimes, like most of the time, I'm only squatting with a barbell, just
Okay.
light,
Yep.
just to move some blood around.
Sure.
And then on the recovery day, I break up my my legs, and so I break up the legs. I train the legs individually,
Right.
single leg. This way I try to stay balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday will be a heavy upper day, so that'll be the day I do a heavy bench, heavy press. I do as much heavy back as I can, including rows.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of lots of heavy rows.
Yep.
Either with barbells or machines. Since I've been arm wrestling, I've been doing lots of pull-ups.
Okay.
Pull-ups are real good for arm wrestling.
How do you do them? Are you neutral grip, supinated, pronated? How do you do your pull-ups?
I try to do them all depending on the day. So like last time I did it neutral grip. You know what I mean? Just like
Yep.
a regular, regular V-bar.
Sure.
I usually switch every 2 or 3 weeks. Just change the grip up.
Okay.
One thing that's been doing is I like the country crush for pull-ups.
Yes.
Makes it very. That feels like arm wrestling.
Yeah, the wrist flexion.
You try to hold on.
Yeah, brutal.
And then I break up the. Recently, maybe the last 6 months, I've been doing. On my heavy day, a heavy arm wrestling specific exercise.
Okay.
Like last week I'll do a pronation curl where the weight's on the floor. I put the loop around my thumb, and I try to come up with try to come up with this pressure with the loop around my thumb.
Right.
It
wants to supinate you. You have to fight that. Oh, how interesting. So it's a hammer curl, but with a pronation. Yeah.
If you don't have tremendous pronation,
yep.
The thumbs get dumped under.
That's an excellent exercise, because I mean that's what's happening in a match. If someone's trying to cup you, you just maintain that static. You're not actively pronating, but you're just keeping your hand. I love that. Okay. Anything else specific to arm wrestling?
Lots of wrist flexion.
Yeah.
That I would say, if I'd say number one exercise I do for arm wrestling, I would say basic cable curl. The cable's coming straight up.
Okay.
I'm just coming straight down.
Yep.
I mean, to me, it feels like it feels like a good tension on the elbow. When
okay.
You come down straight down. It feels like a very tiny bit of side pressure.
Right. And what implement or what handle are you using for that? Is it a special?
I usually grab my Country Crush.
Okay.
I usually use that or a fat grip.
Yep. Love fat grips.
Grab a regular 1-inch rolling handle.
Sure. Yep.
But I usually like the 2-inch handle or bigger.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And then as for table time, obviously practice once a week at the dungeon. And do you structure that, or is that just kind of free form? Whoever comes to the table, you're pulling.
I kind of have a plan what I want to do.
Okay.
Depending on who's there, sometimes you got to change it around a little bit.
Yep.
But sometimes, like, I just show up and I'm just like a sparring session, just
right.
Spar, and, like, that's the plan.
Yeah.
But unless I have it, like my elbow's been bothering me for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've just been doing those light isometrics.
Okay.
Yep. 5 minutes.
Makes sense.
But I mean, basically, if I go in with a plan, it's I want to work on my top roll first, or work on my hook first, or something like that.
Okay. And then just whoever you can get, you start pulling with. Yes, it's quite a crew there. Obviously, Ron Klemba, who runs it, and Tim Bresnan, of course. That's his main spot. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to train with Tim? I mean, have such an elite guy at the club, because you're starting to get close and close to that level. So, how nice is it to have him as a training partner?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I got real lucky with that. I feel like most people that have my strength background that get into the sport have someone strong enough that can show them, put them in positions to not learn bad habits.
Right.
I mean? Like if someone's so much stronger than you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Habits,
exactly. Yeah, no, it's a real problem. I know people, like, if you're Dave Chafee, like, who you going to find around you that you can really just bang on and their arm doesn't go down, So, and you can try to, strap bands around yourself, and that can approximate arm wrestling. But, yeah, having someone who can really, it's so important. And then, of course, don't want to sleep on Ron Klemba, world champion. He is so, I hate pulling Ron Klemba so much. His style is brutal. Just that posting straight back.
Just embrace it.
Yeah. I have to. I just have to accept that he's just gonna blast into my fingertips. So yeah, if you're in Connecticut, check out the dungeon. Man, no better place. Well, I don't want to say no better place. And disrespect my old clubs, but it's a great place to train. What's that?
Lots of fun there.
Lots of fun. Plenty of fun to be had at the dungeon. All right, so we talked a little bit about what's next for you. You're thinking about going to Winter Blast in Pennsylvania, if the rules are reasonable. Tim versus Derek, I'm sure you saw that. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I was expecting Tim to go a little bit more side pressure from the start.
Yeah.
My thinking was that if Tim got anywhere on his side of the table, he would finish it. But Derek just had too much hand control and looked like he just controlled the height the whole entire match.
Right.
But I'm curious when Tim gets back. I want to talk to him and see what he thinks.
Yeah, it looked like he was really focusing on the hand only, and I mean, he obviously has nasty side pressure with training with Pete Milano. That's his specialty. Yeah, it'll be interesting to talk to Tim and see his thoughts on it. If he thought the setup was fair, if he just couldn't get a nice spot, or maybe Derek's hand is just too large. I mean, Derek's looking like a monster right now. He's got to be close to 400.
Oh yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, well, I was listening to one of his live streams, and everyone was like, "Dude, how much you weigh right now?" And he's like, "I don't know. My scale only goes up to 350." So we know he's over 350, but how much we don't know. Yeah, he's a monster right now. All right. And do you ever travel to different clubs, or is Dungeon your main club? You still visit? I know you go to Ron Armini's. It's an excellent club up in Boston. Arsenal of Arms. You got the Cellar. I feel like the Northeast U.S. has to be the best place in the country for arm wrestling. I mean, we have Tim, we have Jerry, we got Josh Grant, we got Norm Devio. Or do you kind of settle in and you like to just stick with your group and just work the same thing all the time? How important do you think it is to mix it up?
I feel like it's important to mix it up, especially just get used to different levers.
Yep.
Hands, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Make moves too.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like besides the arm benders in the Dungeon, the
Yeah.
only other team I've been to is Grant Arms.
That's right. That's where we met. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. The what was it? 4th of July party or something?
It was something like that. It wasn't the Christmas party. I know that much. Yeah, I think it was it might have just been like a random event they put on. I think it was in May because it was before I had moved to Connecticut. I think they just had a party up there, catered and everything. Every year, if you're in the Northeast, you got to get the Badgers for his Christmas party. I mean, hundreds of people there, tables all over the place, catered food. It's just a great time. You actually had I think a surprise super match when you were there this December. Is that right? With someone from Norway, right?
Yeah. The way I like to put it is Bill Sinks. He knew I was going to be there.
Yep.
So he flew the guy in from
All right, that is now the official story of what happened that day. They're flying in people from Norway just to get a piece of Nick. Yeah, that was great. That dude was strong though, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You had the edge on him. You got the win, but yeah, Norway's got some power, man. I'll tell you. Good stuff. All right, man. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer. But while we're here, can you plug your socials? I know you have a YouTube channel where we'll be uploading this, as well as my own channel. But where else can people find you?
You can find me at Instagram. It's Team Stone _Team Stone 777, or you can find me at YouTube. It's Stone TV.
Awesome.
Yep.
Fantastic.
What about your arm wrestling forums?
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. So yeah, armwrestlingforums.com. It's a new project. It's an attempt to unify the online community. Right now, it's fractured across a bunch of different places on the internet, Facebook, etc. So we have a nice community on there. There's sections for general discussion, match discussion, exercises, beginner questions. There's club finders, tournament finders. So it's kind of just your one-stop shop for all things arm wrestling. You kind of think of it as the bodybuilding.com, but for arm wrestling. So yeah, that's a great place to find me. We'll certainly be posting this interview on there. Nick's on there as well, so you can shoot him a message over there. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
Just be ready for that workout we got coming up.
Oh God, yeah. Stay tuned, guys. We're gonna show you how we do a recovery workout, Nick Stone style. So that'll be coming up soon. Keep an eye out for that. Other than that, Nick, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I learned a lot about you, and to everyone watching, keep an eye out. Nick is gonna be taking the scene by storm. So thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.